Hello, hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, motherfuckers. How are we? Good morning, good morning, good morning. You get a haircut? No. No, I did not. No, I did not. So, um, Trump finally admitted that he can't run for a third term. Granted, he's still gonna run for a third term. Let's see. Imagine if Valenti videos got a low taper fade. Imagine if Valenti videos got a low taper fade. I hope we talk about how Trump most likely had and failed the dementia test. We talked about that the other day. I already covered that in a recent video. Trump says he can't run a third term.
My highest poll numbers that I've ever had. And, you know, based on what I read, I guess I'm not allowed to run. So we'll see what happens.
Johnson says you're trolling when you talk about a third term.
Well, I don't think he said that. I don't think he'd use that term, but
He did. He literally did. Mike Johnson said you were trolling.
Very interesting thing. I have the best numbers for any president in many years.
Not true.
Any president. And I would say that if you read it, it's pretty clear. I'm not allowed to run. It's too bad. I missed it. But we have a lot of great people.
Yeah, if you read it now, they're just going to amend the 22nd Amendment and allow you to run for a third term, brother. See, that's the thing. Did you notice what he said? Allowed. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Wolfman. He said he's not allowed. He wants to. He doesn't give a fuck about, like, morality. He doesn't give a fuck if it's right, you know? He wants to be allowed to do it, so they're going to change the law so he could do it. All right, so there's some real crazy news I want to cover, which is Venezuela. Okay, the strike group, the fleet that we sent to the coast of Venezuela, is the largest fleet we have assembled since the Cuban Missile Crisis back in the 1960s. U.S. fleet, Venezuela, largest since Cuban Missile Crisis. Maduro says the U.S. is fabricating war as it deploys the world's largest warship. That's the USS Gerald Ford. Beans? Hi. Beans has his string in his mouth and he's bringing it to me. Hi, buddy. Give me the string. Bring me the string. Come here. All right, let's see. Does it say anything about the fleet itself? Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. I also got to turn on the AC. I'm sweating my cock right off my body. Thank you for the $20 donation. To the military a couple years ago, do you think they'll try and make me fight? No. I don't know how old you are, but if you're like under the age of 21, you're more likely to go because they can easily convince you that it's like needed. If your brain is fully developed or almost fully developed, nah, they're not going to be able to use you. Oh, I should have taken a shit before I started this stream, bro. I should have taken a fat dookie. That's no good. Kinda have to take a shit, gang. Oof. Oof. Big oofs in the chat for having to take a shit during stream when I've been live for 6 minutes. Oof. Big oofs in the chat. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Hi, Bean. Oh, 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jesus Christ, guys. I actually might have to go shit. I might have to go shit. I might have to go shit. You guys stay here. You guys stay here. Feeling like a new man. Oof. Feeling like a new man. All right. All right. All right. Let's start putting together some stuff. There's a video that I want to watch.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Make sure you guys are subscribed to Breaking Points, by the way, okay? Because Breaking Points is fucking gas.
I have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Crystal?
Indeed, we do. Taking a look at Venezuela, Barry Weiss's 60 Minutes with a terrible piece of propaganda that we will break down for you.
Yeah, Barry Weiss's 60 Minutes. I want that. You look like you don't wash your hands. I wash my hands.
This can go, according to a lot of the people that we spoke to, which is he packs his bags and leaves, or he's picked up. There's this big bounty for his arrest, so he could be picked up. That's number two. Or he can meet his maker. It's not a question of if, but a question of when.
Pretty sure there's more. Where is ICE taking these people? A lot of them, they're just using as slave labor. They're sending them to concentration camps.
The world's largest.
Oh, it's insane that we accuse Nicolas Maduro of being a fucking... It was Storyful, not this channel. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, dude. Nicolas Maduro is not a drug dealer. He's not a cartel leader. Like, we get like 7% of the cocaine that's in the United States comes from Venezuela. 0% of the fentanyl comes from Venezuela. 0%. It comes from Mexico and China. And on top of that, we know where these drugs are coming from. They're coming from Colombia, but we don't have a problem with Colombia because the CIA works hand in hand with Colombia inside of Venezuela. I learned what they did to Gaddafi. Check this out. Hold on. Marco Rubio. Gaddafi. Maduro. Marco Rubio once posted a picture. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but Marco Rubio once posted a picture of Nicolas Maduro right next to a picture of Gaddafi, essentially insinuating that the best thing that could happen is if this guy's sodomized. Here it is. This is what Marco Rubio posted in 2019. Okay? Now, I need you to understand that what you're seeing, this war in Venezuela, it actually has nothing to do with drugs. This is a plan that war hawks like Marco Rubio and the State Department have had since like the mid-2000s to invade Venezuela, take all of their oil, take their gold, turn it into some sort of like pro-American haven. That has been the goal for Venezuela for a long time. And Trump is just the one guy who has been willing to give them that opportunity. Oil, yeah, it's an oil war. Just another forever war for oil. You know, typical shit. So we've got 455. I wanna get these queued up. There's a couple of spots in this that I really want to cover for the video today.
Crackdowns, which the UN says included Maduro offered the U.S. a stake in the country's oil Being held on the middle of a highway, and he is surrounded by hundreds of people. This is 2 days after he canceled his.
Well, yeah, well, guys, somebody said I can't stand these mainstream reporters. Barry Weiss right here is doing a propaganda piece for the United States War Department. This is manufacturing consent. Noam Chomsky wrote all about this. The average American, like the 50-year-old, 60-year-old, they're gonna watch this, and they're gonna be fooled into exactly what we did in Iraq. They're gonna go, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. We're gonna head over there. We're gonna win in 100 hours or less, and then we're gonna save the people of Venezuela. We're gonna be welcomed with roses and open arms. That is exactly what she's doing. She's participating in American State Department propaganda.
As a stake in.
All right, so we got that. That's important to have up. Does she know what she's doing? Of course she does. She knows damn well what she's doing. That's Barry Weiss, bro. She absolutely knows what she's doing.
United States government. Also, just another, a pump for Ryan and I's reporting. Did you notice how they talked about the Colombian guerrillas in that story, and that what we discovered was USAID's type dollars flowing into Colombia, into Ghana?
Is there any guarantee?
They have their Ahmed Chalabi. They have a 100-hour plan how they can peacefully take power. Let's take a listen.
There were.
We
Maduro, I'd head to Russia or China right now.
Because
His days are numbered. Something's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, the CIA group. Maduro says he captured a group of CIA agents. Venezuela claims it captured mercenaries with ties to the CIA plotting a false flag attack. Captured a mercenary group linked to the CIA on Sunday, accused them of aiming to spark military conflict with a South American country. A false flag attack is underway in waters bordering Trinidad and Tobago, or from Trinidadian or Venezuelan territory, to generate full military confrontation with our country. So, what I believe this is, and we're going to talk about it in the video, what I believe this is the War Department and the CIA, Pete Hegseth, hired mercenary groups from Colombia to attack the American ships. I believe that the plot was foiled, but there was a plan. And don't forget, we've done this before. America has literally come up with plans to attack ourselves in order to trigger a war in Cuba. It was called Operation Northwoods. We'll cover that in the video. But I think that the Trump regime was going to pay Colombian mercenaries through the CIA to attack American ships under the guise of being the Venezuelan military in order to trigger and manufacture consent from the American public to attack Venezuela. We did this in Pearl Harbor. We did this in the Gulf of Tonkin before Vietnam. We did this with 9/11, right? Now, you can bitch and moan about me being a conspiracy theorist, but all of these events were coincidentally lined up perfectly with the State Department's desires to invade those nations, okay? Excuse me. Ah, see, look. See, Rodriguez likened the plan to the USS Maine off the coast of Cuba. That was when we bombed our own boat. And then the 1964 Gulf of Tonkin incident, where we just pretended that we got bombed. That's what these are, bro. It's unbelievable.
Whether it's internal or external, I think something's going to happen.
the firepower that's off the coast.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
This is
Lindsey Graham,
Just wondering
dude.
about the intellectual firepower that's backing this. Let's take a listen.
We didn't have a declaration to go into Panama.
So Lindsey Graham was on Face the Nation talking about this. Let me see if I could find it.
We didn't have a declaration to go into Panama.
There we go. I'll have that queued up. All right. I think we're good. And then the last thing I want to do is talk about U.S. fleet Venezuela. Yeah, there we go. We'll get that. All right. I think we have enough for a video today. I don't need that. We're going to start with that. Then we're going to move on to that, that, and that. What order do we want to do this in? Start with telling you what's going on with the fleet. Then we're going to move on to Barry Weiss's 60 Minutes regime change thing. I also want the clip of Trump talking about regime change.
We're buying oil from Venezuela. When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door.
Okay, so that's important to have up. What's wrong, Mrs. Luigi? What's the problem? There's nothing wrong. Thank you for the $20. Anyway, we can talk about the UAE getting weapons from Israel to supply the RSF to ethnically cleanse Sudan and the murder of women and children hanging from trees. Why is this happening? Giovanni, age 16, OAL. If I'm being totally honest, I know very little about what's going on in Sudan, or Sudan, or however you say it. To the point where I wouldn't want to give you false information. Volume is low on the videos. I'll crank it up. I don't want to give you false information. I have not read up fucking anything about Sudan. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the UAE was getting weapons from Israel. They're like one of the few Israeli Arab nations that are allied with the Israeli world. But also, I mean, listen, dude, there's been genocides going on in Africa. Sudan is in Africa, right? There's been genocides going on there for literally fucking hundreds of years. But Hassan is covering it better. Chris is much more versed on U.S. domestic politics. I just don't know enough about it. I will try to do some research on it so I can bring you information, but I don't want to speak on something that I don't know fuck all about, you know? Luigi, why are you crying, mama? What's the problem? Is there a toy on the ground that you want? What? What is it? What is it? I don't know what she wants, man, but she's crying for something. Why the grumbles? Why the grumbles? You better hold that baby right now. She don't want to be held, man. She wants to play with her brother. And her brother is like, I will just slit your throat. I'm a cat. Trump wants Nobel. Hey! Peace Prize from Venezuela.
The Saudis. I mean, we forget about Saudi Arabia.
This is the CIA plant. Maria Corina Machado. This is the woman who the CIA wants to replace Maduro, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize, and she wants to give it to Donald Trump.
I mean, we have more oil. I mean, infinite potential. And we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industries. Venezuela has huge resources: oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do.
Bro, he couldn't give less of a shit. He hates doing this shit. He's doing this because daddy told him to.
And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity.
Bro, he really looks like he's counting down the minutes until his next line of cocaine.
For investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money. Forget
interview.
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch. And I promise we one day we'll have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel. And I believe, and I can announce this, that our government will move our Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. That will be part of our support to the state of Israel.
Wow, in God's will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dude, these fucking people, like, it's insane. I also don't think a lot of Americans understand the, like, almost religious militancy that a lot of Venezuelan people have. Like, when they come to the United States, like in Florida, they, like, same thing with Cubans, bro. They fucking hate the country they came from. Like, they want it destroyed. All of those rich Cubans who fled Castro's regime that we ended up training to, like, go back and fight in the Bay of Pigs. It's the same thing with Venezuelans who are, like, who fled the regime. They want to go back and destroy their own nation because they were kicked out for being pieces of shit. It's insane. They should rescind her Nobel Peace Prize. Wait until you find out that the Nobel Peace Prize is literally propaganda orchestrated by Western governments in order to bring about different regime change. Like, the Nobel Peace Prize means nothing. It's actually, like, if you get the Nobel Peace Prize, you're probably a fucking scumbag. It's the complete opposite of what you would think. Don't forget, Henry Kissinger got a Nobel Peace Prize, guys. Okay? Okay. Luigi, no crying. No crying. Come here. All right. All right. Luigi's a dachshund. She's a miniature dachshund. All right, let's do it. Let's make a video. We're going to war in Venezuela. It's going to be really bad. And this is now completely unavoidable, irrefutable. If you disagree with me, you are wrong and stupid. And I do mean that. You're not allowed to disagree with me. We're going to war in Venezuela. And I have a whole bunch of shit queued up, but the first thing I want to show you is just this AI overview. New reports confirm a major U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean Sea near Venezuela in October 2025, described as the largest U.S. naval deployment in the region since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. So, just so you understand, the Cuban Missile Crisis is when we thought global thermonuclear war was about to break out and everybody on planet Earth was going to die. Okay? So now we just sent out a fleet to Venezuela that is larger than the fleet we sent out when we thought the world was going to end. And these bootlicking MAGA chuds are going to do three things. One, they're going to pretend it's not happening. Two, they're going to support it. And three, they're going to do both. They're going to say, it's not real, and if it is real, it's fucking goated. That is how the MAGA brain works. This is because all MAGA voters are in a cult. The cult leader is our Führer, Donald Trump. And if he says, we're not going to war, I'm not getting congressional approval, it's not war, but we are going to go in there and we're going to fucking kill him, they have to support it no matter what. They're not allowed to disagree with the Führer. Hi, Luigi. I got Luigi here because she was crying and I wanted to start recording, but she really wanted some attention, so might have to hold her for the rest of this video, guys. Anyway, I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. We have a lot to cover today. It's all going to be about Venezuela. We had CIA operatives in Venezuela that were captured by Nicolas Maduro, and what they were doing was planning a false flag operation with Colombian mercenary groups to attack U.S. ships in order to manufacture consent for the invasion of Venezuela here in the United States. It's the same thing that happened with the USS Maine in the 1980s. It's the same thing that happened with the Gulf of Tonkin before the Vietnam War. Same thing that happened with Pearl Harbor and 9/11. You manufacture consent so that you can finally wage a war that coincidentally aligns with the U.S. State Department's desires for the past couple of decades. But just so you understand, this has nothing to do with drugs. This also has very little to do with Donald Trump. The war hawks in our State Department, like little Marco Rubio, have wanted war with Venezuela for decades, right? Marco Rubio even posted on Twitter in 2019 a picture of Gaddafi's bloodied fucking body after he was sodomized and murdered. And next to it, he posted a picture of Nicolas Maduro, insinuating that the best possible outcome would be to rape and murder the leader of Venezuela. That is unironically what little Marco Rubio posted in 2019. So what you're seeing is the end point of a multi-decade-long operation to harvest the oil of Venezuela. And you don't need to take it from me. You really don't. You could take it from Donald. This is what he said back when he was running.
How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. How about we're buying
He also
oil?
said back in the day on the campaign trail, he said, he was like, well, you know, why don't we just, like, if we're going to go to Venezuela, why don't we take all of their fucking oil? And again, the MAGA voters were the ones going, no more foreign wars, no more oil wars, no more regime change wars. He's going to bring about peace. Now he's in office and they're suddenly going, yeah, brother, more war, yeah. Like, you know, it's funny because I saw a comment and it said, what was it? America first, no new wars, right? But now it's America first, no new wars. That is unironically what the Trump regime has turned into. So we're going to cover a lot of this in detail. Before we do, let me just remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could grab that Democratic Socialism poster or the Valenti Videos mug. We've got merch down below. You can click the thanks button to tip me directly. You can click the join button to become a member, which will give you access to member-only content and some cool emotes like one of the little baby Luigi. Hi, Luigi. And you can become a patron on Patreon, but also guys, this is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a government. This entire operation is funded by you, the viewer, so I really do appreciate every single person who has donated $1, $2, $5, whatever it is. Anyway, without further ado, let's just dive in. So Bari Weiss, who is an Israeli shill, well, she's not Israeli, but she's a shill for Israel. She did a propaganda piece for the State Department on 60 Minutes. As you might know, 60 Minutes has been co-opted by the State Department. Trump pretty much has full control over it. And they did an entire segment trying to manufacture consent from the American people for another regime change oil war over in Venezuela. And a lot of interesting things were said on it from some really high-ranking people within the State Department. So I think that we should watch certain bits of it. It's a long one, but what I ended up doing was clipping out like really important parts of it. Big shouts out to Secular Talk. I watched their entire video on this. Sagar and Crystal, they're fucking geniuses, guys. They're wildly smart. They have some of the best takes on this situation that I've ever seen. I highly recommend you go watch Secular Talk and you sub to their channel, but without further ado, let's get a little bit, sorry, I have a burp coming. Let's get a little bit of a look at the way that Bari Weiss is pumping out American propaganda for this. Check it out. I could say the exact same thing about the Trump regime. It is. Kristi Noem is a criminal. Stephen Miller is a criminal. Pete Hegseth, Tom Homan, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk. That is a criminal organization masquerading as a government. So everything this guy's about to say, think about Trump. Watch, just listen.
This is an individual who is under indictment for narcotics trafficking.
Donald Trump is under indictment for fucking everything, but if you want to talk about narcotics trafficking, Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and the world's biggest drug smuggler on planet Earth is the CIA. So that makes Donald Trump a fucking drug smuggler, right?
commits human rights violations.
Oh, human rights violations? You mean like ICE does to the American people and migrants every single fucking day? So Donald Trump is the president, so he's in charge and he will be held responsible for the human rights violations, right?
Someone who has used the apparatus of the state to throw people in jail, to torture them, to kill.
That's strange. Using the apparatus of the state to throw people in jail and to torture them and to kill them. What happened to those 12,000 people who went missing from Alligator Auschwitz, huh? What happened to all of those? Yo, you guys remember the Venezuelans that we randomly tossed into CCOT when Trump was like, hey, by the way, we just got 200 Venezuelans. We're sending them to CCOT. I am now starting to realize that that wasn't for us. That was a fuck you to Maduro. That was like the first stage. You know what I'm saying? That was like the first stage. Despite the fact that this guy, Nicolas Maduro, has offered literally all of his oil to the United States, we're still going to war. Now, the reason is because we don't want a deal with Nicolas Maduro. We want a deal with, what is her name? Corina something Machado, right? We want regime change. This is what the United States of America does. If your regime, if your nation doesn't give blind support to the United States of America, we send in the CIA, we kill you, we make a military coup d'etat, and then we install a CIA puppet that will only do what Israel and the United States says. And by the way, Maria Machado, she quite literally already admitted, like, oh, if I win, we're gonna move our embassy to Jerusalem. We promise we're gonna have pro-Israel policies. This is because she's a fucking Israeli CIA plant, right? Now, I'm not saying the woman's from Israel, but what I am saying is she gets millions and millions and millions of dollars from Israel, from AIPAC, even though AIPAC is an American organization. This is all Israel. At the end of, like, at the root of all evil is an Israeli. Always, no matter the situation, you can tie it to an Israeli. It's something like 7% of the cocaine that comes into the United States comes from Venezuela, right? The idea of this being about drugs is just wrong. It is just wrong. If you think this is about stopping drugs, you're a fucking idiot. And if you think that the fentanyl coming into the United States of America is killing 500,000 people and that's the blame is on Nicolas Maduro, again, you're a fucking idiot. The drug problem in the United States of America is an education problem, it's a poverty problem, it's a common sense problem, and if you want to stop the root of drug use, then you have to reshape the education system in the United States. You have to have social safety nets that are capable of providing people with a better life. People don't just turn to Do you think rich motherfucking white boys in Beverly Hills are snorting fent? You dumb fuck? No, it's not. It's a poverty issue. Oh, Jesus. We got more from the same thing. So get this. This is now where they're saying, if I'm Nicolas Maduro, I'd pack my bags and I would flee to Iran or Russia or China. We're just laying out like blatant fucking threats.
Senator Rick Scott of Florida.
So Senator Rick Scott of Florida, right? My brother just sent a link talking about how the people who are running this charge are all Florida representatives, Florida congressmen, Florida senators, right? Because Florida has this weird connection with Latin America, right? When it comes to the Cubans and the Venezuelans, everybody who's come over to flee the rise of socialism in South America, they end up developing this like religious hatred of the regimes back in their nation, that they want to go back and kill them and take over and reinstate this pro-American capitalist regime in their nations, right? So Florida Republicans have almost like a religious tie to this Venezuela. What's funny about that is Maduro immediately claimed that those CIA operatives were captured. Let me see if yeah, look at this. So Venezuela claims it captured mercenaries with ties to CIA plotting a false flag attack. Venezuela claimed that it captured a mercenary group linked to the CIA on Sunday and accused them of aiming to spark a military conflict with the South American country. Quote, a false flag attack is underway in waters bordering Trinidad and Tobago or from Trinidadian or Venezuelan territory to generate full military confrontation with our country. Rodriguez claimed the mercenary group was captured, quote, with direct information of the American intelligence agency CIA. Rodriguez likened the purported plot to the 1898 explosion of the USS Maine off the coast of Cuba, which we did ourselves, and the 1964 Gulf of Tonkin incident near Vietnam, which we also did ourselves and completely made up the attack. That way we can go to war in Vietnam. The precipitating causes of the Spanish-American and Vietnam Wars, respectively. So, I don't know, first of all, I don't know why Donald Trump claimed that we have fucking CIA agents in Venezuela, like that's a really easy way to get them fucking killed. It's insane. Okay, so let's go back to listen to the rest of what this reptilian-looking bald fuck has to say. This guy doesn't look human to me. It looks like an actual reptile wearing a fucking skin suit. I'm not kidding. This guy does not look human to me, and I'm gonna die on this hill that may not be a... I don't think you know who we are, dog. We're the United States of America. Barack Obama dropped cluster bombs onto fucking weddings, bro. Donald Trump is currently posting snuff films of us bombing fishermen. And you don't think we would bomb a hotel to get Maduro? Are you out of your mind? Where do you think the Israelis learned that shit from, dude? When Israel goes, oh, there's a Hamas fighter in this hotel, but there's 100 civilians. I guess that's acceptable collateral damage. Take it down. Do you think the Israelis just like came up with that on their own? Nope. That is learned behavior. Learned from the United States of America. Hey, dumb fuck, you ever heard of Dresden? We firebombed an entire city. Motherfucker, you ever heard of Tokyo? You ever heard of Hiroshima? Nagasaki? Fucking Kaisan? You ever heard of fucking Kandahar? Bitch, we murder civilians every fucking day. In the name of freedom and democracy, you dumb bastard. Warhawk Lindsey Graham, look at his giant flapping beef curtain of a fucking nussy. I can't, by the way, this is a gay man. This is a closeted homosexual who throws his fucking pussy back every day on dick through his grinder matches. He has no wife, which is very concerning. But I want to show you just how our members of Congress, this is a congressman who was saying, no, he doesn't need congressional approval to go to war. I'm a little fucking cuck boy. I'd like to just say real quick, I don't know why we have Congress. I really don't. To every congressperson watching this, you're fucking useless. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You have no power. You're a cuck. Stand the fuck up and get your power back, or sit the fuck back and shut the fuck up. Because here's the thing. Republicans, they actually have motion. They have like set rules. They're like, we're rounding up migrants. We're getting rid of term limits. We're fucking disbanding the Constitution. No more free speech. And every Republican, whether it be a commentator or a senator or a congressman, they all move in the same motion. They're not about excelling their own careers. They're about excelling their belief of what America should be. Every time I see a fucking Democrat congressperson or senator or House representative talking about this shit, they're talking about themselves. Oh, well, I've stood up to this. Well, I've said this. Well, I've done that. How about you fucking unite and you fight back against the fascists, and you try and get a semblance of power back into Congress?
We didn't have a declaration to go into Panama. Bush 41 went into Panama to replace the leadership there because the Panamanian leadership, were working with drug cartels to threaten our country. Reagan didn't have a declaration of war, congressional authorization to deal with Cuban influence.
Dude, they're literally, like, first of all, you have to understand what this is. This is a congressperson saying, well, they didn't need congressional approval, so why will we need it now? That is like the one little bit of power that you fucking have, and you are such a fucking cuck that you have bent the knee to the Fuhrer and said, oh, I don't really care. I really don't care.
So this idea of Rand Paul, I just fundamentally disagree with. To the other senators, you deserve more information, and you're going to get more information. But there is no requirement for Congress to declare war before the commander-in-chief can use force.
Yes, there is. It's laid out in the Constitution. I know more about the Constitution than you do, you fucking closeted gay boy.
Panama and Grenada are two examples in our backyard where Republican presidents chose to go after countries and leaders that were threatening our people.
But there seem to be a number of issues wound up in here. I know you personally used to serve as a judge advocate in the Air Force. We looked at the JAG manual. Preventative self-defense employed to counter non-imminent threats is illegal under international law. So if we are not at war and these
Dude, look at him laughing. We're talking about war crimes. We're saying that every one of those boats we killed is a war crime, and this little fucking rat is laughing.
Criminals.
I want this fucking piece of shit dragged by his ear into a prison.
Pose no threat of imminent violence. Isn't this potentially a war crime to be killing the people on these boats? and then to be taking out a leader?
No, not at all. I don't know what manual you're referring to, but I know what President Bush 41 did.
Yes, war crimes. What Bush 41 did was war crimes. Dude, this is why these are the pull yourselves up by your bootstrap. These are the people who go, well, I suffered, so now you have to suffer too. It's like, no, dude, there's a better way. Like when it comes to like healthcare or like college loans, we'll use student loans, right? These guys are like, I paid off my student loans and I fucking suffered and now you have to as well. No, dude, we can forgive student loans and you can get a check. We can get you your money back. We can move forward. You know, we don't need to be doing this. And the same fucking mentality applies to this. The guy's going, well, we committed war crimes under Bush 41. We committed war crimes under Bill Clinton. We committed war crimes under Barack Obama. So why don't we just commit war crimes again? Because progress, because progression, because evolution, because maybe we shouldn't commit fucking war crimes.
He took down Ortega, the leader of Panama, because he was involved in drug trafficking, threatening our country. Venezuela is now partnering with Hezbollah.
Oh my God, that's not true. Venezuela has no connections to Iran, to Hezbollah, to Hamas, to China. Venezuela has connections to Venezuela! You dumb fuck!
I was running out of money because Iran is weak.
That's not new.
Partnering with drug cartels in Venezuela. No, it should have stopped. Here's what's new. You got a commander-in-chief that's not going to put up with this crap. We're not going to sit on the sidelines and watch boats full of drugs come to our country. We're going to blow them up. And
do you think these boats are going from Venezuela to what? Martha's Vineyard? 100% of all fentanyl coming into the United States of America comes from regular ports of entry, primarily the southern border. 90% of that fentanyl is smuggled in by U.S. citizens because we have passports. We can go back and forth across the border with less scrutiny. And you know how we get that fentanyl? By giving the cartels our weapons, bro. Why do you think the cartels have 50 caliber sniper rifles and fucking attack helos? It's because we sold it to them.
Kill the people that want to poison America. And we're now going to expand operations, I think, to the land. So please be clear about what I'm saying today. President Donald Trump sees Venezuela and Colombia as direct threats to our country.
Oh, and Colombia. Great. Throw that on the list. Hey, Colombians, coming for your ass too now.
Because they house narco-terrorist organizations. The leader of Venezuela is an indicted drug dealer in American court.
Yeah, and the leader of the United States of America is an indicted rapist, okay? You got no fucking leg to stand on, gay boy.
So yeah, the game is changing when it comes to drug traffickers and drug cartels. We're going to use military force like we have in the past to protect our country. That's the new game we're playing, and I'm glad we're playing that game.
This ain't a fucking game, you dumb piece of shit. I know it's a game to you because you don't have any kids, you don't have to go fight, but it's not a fucking game to the 17 and 18-year-old kids who just joined the United States Marines. It's not a joke to the parents of the soldiers who are afraid that they're gonna go die in a Venezuelan jungle because drug cartels. Listen, maybe this is gonna sound a little fucked up. I couldn't give less of a shit about Venezuela's problems. I don't give a fuck, okay? That is Venezuela's problem. If you want to flee Venezuela and come to the United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the fucking brave, come on in, we'll welcome you in. I'm all for immigration. But I'm not down for sending the United States military to do anything in Venezuela. I don't give a fuck if he's out there slaughtering people. That's not my nation. I don't care. The reason why I care about Gaza or Palestine is because my nation is arming the fucking genocide, which makes me complicit in their death. My money is murdering these people. Why is this such a fucking controversial take?
And if I were Maduro, I'd find a way to leave before he goes down.
unfucking believable, the shit that we have to cover here. Like, there's just another forever war. And just so you understand, the woman that they want to place in, I keep on telling you that Maria Machado is an actual fucking Israeli plant. Look at this. This is on Israeli news.
Maria Corina Machado.
Maria Corina Machado.
Yes, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch. And I promise we one day we'll have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel. And I believe, and I can announce this, that our government will move our Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. That will be part of our support to the state of Israel.
Wow, in God's will. Thank you so much.
In God's will. More like in Satan's name, you fucking evil bitch. Now, last thing I want to show you is this woman, Maria Machado, who also has the lips of Heath Ledger's Joker. You're telling me this woman doesn't give you Heath Ledger Joker vibes? Porque es... How do you say so? How do you say so? I want to say why so serious in Spanish. Porque eso es serioso. Like... This is the fucking Joker, dude. She looks exactly like him. And then we've got fucking geeked out of his mind coming down from a fucking coke bender, Don Jr., trying to interview this. No, here's the thing. Don Jr. does not want to be here. He is watching the clock behind the camera, waiting and waiting and waiting so he can sniff his next fucking line of cocaine.
What about Saudi Arabia? Forget about the Saudis. I mean, we have more oil. I mean, infinite potential.
Dude, she's on her fucking knees, lapping up Donald's fucking dick. Just going, oh, forget about Venezuela, forget about MBS. You could use us. You could just use us. You could just harvest my oil. You could just fuck my ass.
And we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industry. Venezuela has...
Dude, I swear to God, this motherfucker couldn't give less of a shit. Daddy told him to do this, and he's doing this, and all he wants is more blow.
Huge resources, oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, porque tan serioso? Soy el Joker! Got a $5 donation. Hi, Chris. My mom would have loved you. She died from DV. She would rage about Trump. Lily, age 14. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate you, man. I'm sorry about your mother. My dad's dead, so we got something in common. We got dead parents. Fucking sucks, right? But, yeah, guys, listen. The Venezuelan Joker here is a CIA plant who wants to sell her nation to the United States of America because she's going to profit off of it. She probably made billions of dollars off of this. Porque tan serio? Soy el Joker! But, yeah, so we are going to war in Venezuela. There's no debating this. If you disagree with me, you're wrong and stupid, and I don't entertain your opinion. I really don't care. And I know that some people are going to find this crazy or like weird, but like, you can't have an opinion. Your opinion, like, there's no opinion. We are going to war in Venezuela. That is a fact. Your opinion can be whether you support it or whether you think it's insane. But if anybody says that we are not going to war in Venezuela, disregard every opinion they have. They're not, like, they don't have a functioning brain. They probably have a mental disability. And I do mean that. And again, real quick, if you're a MAGA voter who stayed all the way to the end, there's no forgiving you, but there is accepting you into the fight. Do us a favor, keep your mouth shut for the rest of time. You've proved that your opinions are fucking useless. You've proved that you are a dangerous member of society because you decided to vote in a fascist. You've proved that you're just fucking stupid. So join in the fight, but stay quiet. Your take is useless. I'm Chris Valenti. This was the Valenti VOD. If you're here live, you stay. We got more news to cover. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And do me one last favor. Click that video over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers. Incredible, 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 incredible. Increíble. Increíble. We got to get this uploaded. And we need to make a thumbnail. Okay. U.S. fleet to Venezuela. All right, that's copyrighted. There we go. Episode 277. Okay. I think Boomerang should make a comeback. Boomerangs they were never on, you know what I mean? They never had like the first, they never really took off. Glad I'm over the draft age. No one is ever over the draft age, my brother. That's the thing about the draft. They just raise the age. Nobody is ever over the draft age. That's the whole point. Okay, and then me. There's got to be one of a good me here somewhere. There we go. I want my oil. And then I want Maduro's head. And then Venezuela. Venezuela is mine. Okay. Let's get those uploaded. Thumbnail only. Luigi, shush, mama, shush. I want Maduro's head. Venezuela is mine. And I want my oil. Title. Regime change in Venezuela. No, how about this? We are going to war, folks. We are going to war. CIA operatives caught staging a false flag in Venezuela. We are going to war. CIA operatives caught staging a false flag in Venezuela. More oil wars. Okay. Waluigi, shush. Let's see if it started properly. Started. All right, good. I have to tweak it. Slight tweak. So like 422. $4.19. We're going to war in Venezuela. Bang. It's save. Acknowledge. Confirm. All right, that's good to go. That's a banger. Okay, good to go. I have to make an advertisement now. Okay, here we go. We're going to war in Venezuela. Our CIA operatives were captured by Maduro, and they were planning a false flag operation with Colombian mercenaries in order to attack American ships. That way they can manufacture consent for the war here in America. Now, here's the thing. MAGA voters do not need manufactured consent. If Donald Trump tells them that we're going to war, they will support it. If Donald Trump tells them that we're going to bomb them, they will support it. They are incapable of thinking for themselves, so there was really no need to do that. 60 Minutes, Barry Weiss did like a propaganda piece trying to convince Americans that it's actually good for regime change over there. On top of that, we have the largest fleet that we have sent to the region since 1967 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So what that means is the fleet that we sent when we thought global thermonuclear war was about to begin and kill literally every single human on Earth, that fleet is smaller than the fleet that we just sent to Venezuela. Other than that, Lindsey Graham was, who is a congressman, also he's closeted, but Lindsey Graham went on the news and was like, yeah, no, we don't need congressional approval. I mean, George H.W. Bush didn't get congressional approval in Panama. We didn't get congressional approval in any of these wars. And I know I'm a congressman. He's a cuck. He's a literal fucking cuck. And he's okay with being cucked because he's always been a cuck. Anyway, I have a whole new YouTube video about this, and we're at war with Venezuela. If you disagree, you're stupid and wrong. Like, you can't have an opinion. You don't get to have an opinion. A fact. This is a fact. We're at war with Venezuela. Your opinion can be whether you support it or not, but you don't get to have an opinion on whether it's happening. It's a fact. Cope, mauled, seethe, bitch, moan, duet, comment. I couldn't give less of a fuck about anybody's opinion other than mine. Anyway, new YouTube video is up. Go check it out. CIA false flag incoming. New YouTube video up now. Oh. All right, we got to get that posted. Is there any other breaking news? Hurricane Melissa, yeah, kills a lot of people. SNAP benefits, everyone's fucked. Trump says he can't run a third term. All right. All right, that's on TikTok. Let's get it on Instagram. Eddie! Big guy, Ed guy, Ed guy, Ed guy. Big guy, Ed guy, Ed guy, big guy, big guy, Ed guy, Ed guy, big guy. All right, time for a palate cleanser, guys. As you know, Eddie, you might want to stay for this. As you know, at the end of the stream, we do a palate cleanser. We watch 7 to 8 year old videos of me playing Fortnite. It's a great palate cleanser. Reminds you of a time that was simpler, you know? Just a simpler time. How's this one? Patience is a virtue. That's the name of this video. Patience, my friends. Fucking brutal. Fucking brutal. All right, two more palate cleansers. 2 more palate cleansers. You get 2 more. You get 2 more. You get 3 palate cleansers at the end. How to take Dusty Divot. Let's see.
That fast is awesome.
All right, grabbing this chest. I'm coming.
Hunting rifle? You gotta be kidding me. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
I got a sniper. Knocked
Beautiful.
one guy.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna finish him.
Yeah.
Finished him. I'm coming. I got anti-grav. I'm coming.
I got hunting.
I knocked another. Finishing him.
Black magic killed me.
Oh, I just got a 2 for 1. With a shoddy shell. Oh my god. Drink the slurp, drink the slurp.
I'm chugging a chuggy right now.
Oh,
That's my sniper.
I'm sorry. No! Oh! Did you see me pull the trigger with an empty gun?
Oh, I need this.
Oh, you fuck.
Was it yours?
No, it's fine. I got a pump.
Oh.
I'm gonna take that green one.
Oh. I need some shells.
Here, take it. I'm taking this green one.
Holy mommy milker.
Oh god!
Dude, I body.
Dude, did you what?
Dude, I can't stop bodying. I can't stop. All right, one more. Last one. Permission to goon, sir? Permission denied. No gooning. All right, last one. Last palate cleanser. One more.
Hold on.
I'm coming, I'm rifting.
A lot of people in here.
I'm coming, my brother.
Knocked another. Finishing him.
Holy shit, you're so deep. My life's so red, I feel like Jack.
Knocked another.
Bodied.
Finishing him.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Knocked another. Knocked another.
Unbelievable.
Finishing them both.
Oh. I bet I edited that because that rocket fucking murked my shit. I bet I edited that because that rocket murked my shit.
No, but you don't understand. They didn't teach you why World War I has gotta be the most important war in human fucking history, all right? They didn't hammer down on the fact that the old world had met the new, that modern combat was starting to seep its way into humanity. They didn't teach you about the kingdoms of old that had collapsed, that were standing for hundreds of fucking years. We have battles. No, but you don't understand. World War I was the end of the world. I mean that. It was the end of the world that humanity knew. That humanity had known for the past fucking nearly 2,000 years, okay? The world of empires, monarchies, right? Mass colonialism. No, but you don't understand. Where people are fucking cavalry charging on horses with swords.
This is on Spotify.
We have steel fucking
This is called No But You Don't Understand by Xander Yildiz.
tanks. You can fire your rifle at it, the bullet's just gonna ricochet off. You've got guys using bolt-action rifles that can fire maybe 5 rounds a minute, coming up against fucking machine guns that can fire 666 rounds a minute. I mean, the Belgians were fortifying themselves in castles of old.
Here it is.
Castles
This is
that
the
had
big
been
drop.
standing for hundreds of fucking years and held back countless assaults. And then in a matter of minutes, they come toppling down from artillery. Just fucking centuries of history demolished in a moment over what? Over a fucking land grab.
No, but you don't understand.
World War I was the end of the world.
Dude, that drop goes so hard.
Land grab.
Dude, it's so good. It's so stupid good. It's so stupid good.
A moment over what? Over a fucking land grab. World War I was the end of the world. I mean that. It was the end of the world.
Dude, it goes so stupid fucking hard. It goes so stupid fucking hard. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. I'm out of here. I got to get ready to go to the gym. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti broadcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And do me one last favor. Click. Oh, wait, never mind. There is nothing over there. What am I saying? This isn't a Valenti VOD. All right, fuck all of you. I'm out of here. Later, guys. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.